pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First thing on is a consent agenda approval, October 11, 2021 minutes, September 2021 accounts payable summit, approval to amend September 2021 municipal judge report. Is there a motion we accept the consent agenda as read?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
I'll second.
Motion been made and second. Any other comments? No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried. Next thing is a regular agenda. There's nothing, I guess, public comments, petition, and memorial. Sarah from the chamber, you want to come up front?
We've had a couple of food trucks contact us, and Gilberta Bindle that does the face painting and Kettle Corn, and we were asking if we could have these parking spots blocked on either side of the courthouse for Saturday, the 30th, for them to be able to pull in and set up. And they want to set up, in the morning, they want to come and start setting up their stuff so they'll be all ready for the afternoon parade.
Yeah, I guess you went over that with John.
I did, yeah.
Okay. I guess I don't have a problem with it, so yeah. The commissioner good.
What food trucks?
I can't tell you their names right off the top of my head.
That's fine. I'll just be nosy.
I have it all written
If I
down
don't
at my
like the food, I'd
office.
say no, but
I guess we need a motion. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to give permission to block off the streets as discussed between chamber and the,
Yeah, it's
What?
the parking stalls. So they can
okay,
park sideways in there, right against the,
okay, to block off the
Courthouse.
parking stalls
Yep.
for food trucks and vendors.
I'm sorry, I just.
That's all right.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made and second. Any other comments? No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
Next, thank you from Jeanette Ward for Get Well Arrangement. Jeanette's been with us for a long time, and we hope everything works out for her, and we're praying for her. So next thing is request from Blake Parker regarding an Eagle Scout project.
I'm a Life Scout with Troop 313. I'm in 8th grade at Hiawatha Middle School. I've been part of Scouts since 1st grade. I help with numerous community events and several Eagle Scout projects around the community. My goal is to earn my Eagle rank before I enter high school in the fall of 2022. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the Eagle Scout project proposal today. Currently, there is not a sign at the Hiawatha Municipal Airport. If you would please look at the last page of your packet, you will see where I have provided a picture of the idea for the sign and location. I plan to put a lighted angle 10 by 12 foot metal sign on the east side of the airport driveway, visible to travelers on 250th Road. I plan to fund my project by donations. When my project is complete, my by myself. My other volunteers, I plan to have 2 signs on the bottom boulder listing the donors for my project and 1 saying this is an Eagle Scout project made by myself and the date. I would like the city's approval today to start working on my project and look forward to working with you and completing my Eagle Scout project. I am open to any suggestions or comments on this project.
So you say it's gonna be a metal sign? And
Yeah.
how will you go about getting that?
Um,
I mean, who's gonna do it or?
I'm gonna have it made, engraved,
Mhm.
and it's gonna be like it's gonna have 3 signs, but one's gonna be in the middle, different colored.
And you'll be the one putting them up?
Yeah, and helpers.
So what made you decide to do this?
Because there's no sign at the airport.
Mhm.
Because nobody knows where the airport's at.
No, I do.
But he's old, so, there's that.
Well, Blake, I'm thankful we got young people that's interested in doing all this work, and I'm proud of you, buddy. So if there's anything the city can do, I'm 100% behind you. So that's,
How far from the road do you think you'll put your sign? You have a spot picked out for it?
No, but I'm putting it away from the driveway with lights so people can see it at night.
Do you know how much money you're gonna have to raise to do this?
No.
Guess we'll find out. Any ideas on how you're gonna do it? How you're gonna raise money?
Not really. Probably fundraisers, donations.
And I appreciate you answering questions. I'm doing this on purpose just because I think this is a great skill for you to have. So you're doing a good
Yeah.
job.
do you have any cost factors involved in it? How much it takes to put the sign up?
This is 4,500.
Quite a project then.
Do you have the wording figured out for the sign, what you're gonna put on it? What it's
I'm gonna
say?
put Hiawatha Municipal Airport established. I don't know the date yet, but I'll find out.
Okay.
Do we have any
1974, I
funds in the
think.
airport?
What's that?
Do we have any funds in the airport?
We do. That's a trick question. We do have funds in there, yes.
Well, I think it'd be pretty, important for the city itself, if he's gonna put up a sign for the airport. I think maybe we should be involved and try to help them with their funding and so.
I gotta say, let's let him get started and see what he can get done and then we kind of go from there.
I would think he'd get a lot of these materials donated is what I would shoot for. The rock, the boulders and everything. Possibly even the metal. The metal, is it, you want to do a 10 by 12?
Yeah.
That's really big. It's gonna be heavy too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That would be my only concern with it. That's gonna be a really big sign, but if it works, it works.
Well, actually, if you need a labor force on
I'm the mock. I'm Trisha. How big do you guys suggest making the sign?
do I?
I don't really, other than the 4 minutes of reading this right now, I don't really have much thought, but a 10 by 12 piece of steel is gonna be really big and heavy. I know that. All depending on where it's gonna be, location and stuff, but I think that would be plenty big. I would think you could cut that in half even, and then it would be much more manageable. Like a 10 by 12 piece of steel, you're gonna have like heavy equipment. put that in probably, but that's just my 2 cents on it.
My suggestion is if you go to a sign shop to have your sign painted or engraved or however you're gonna make it, you might get their suggestion on what you want to, the wording that you want to put on it, on how big a sign that would take. You're gonna figure out how big the letters are and all that, but make the sign just big enough to show what the wording that you want. And maybe that would help reduce the size of it. The sign shop, I haven't dealt with them too much, but I know they can do a lot of conceptual stuff for you that might help you plan that. That's just my suggestion. I think it's a great idea, though. I appreciate you taking this on.
Well, if you gotta put a plan together and then you wanna come back to the city and, I guess Mike's the guy that researches the finances. I do it every day, but, I'm usually working on a little bit different stuff in there, so.
So would Mike be our contact person?
Do I call him Mike Nichols?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Would be best. I in the application, you mentioned having a sign permit approved tonight. Actually, that goes through our codes officer. And if the sign's going to be donated to the city, then we'd apply for the permit ourselves. So just to let you know that's not necessary tonight to ask for that. And then the placement, I'll work with you on that, as there are restrictions as far as how close to a runway and all that. Where you were standing in the picture looks like it'd be great. But I'll run it by our engineer just to make sure that we're not it's the runway protection zone. But I mean, from looking at the picture, it looks like a great spot. But just little things, yeah.
Okay.
I'd be more than happy. I think it's great.
Okay.
Are you thinking about solar lights for the sign or do you
Yeah.
want powered lights?
Solar.
Solar, good.
Yeah.
Makes it easier.
Sound like you got a whale of a project there, buddy. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And for something we can do for you, just get with Mike and we can try to work something out for you.
Probably be good to have a motion tonight, just so it's in the minutes that the commission approved Mr. Parker proceeding with with the Eagle Scout project for a sign at the airport.
Okay, so
There's a
My name is Jim Reed. I'm on your committee.
Come up here.
Sure.
Everybody at home can hear you.
I think this is a great idea, but I'd like to say, I heard one of you say where you got the idea and that started. His grandfather here had the same project, I believe, at the airport, correct?
Mine was actually building at the airport. We surveyed over 1,000 survey points with the airport board to actually get the grade started.
I think that's where part of it came from, correct, too?
Yeah.
And your own idea, which is great. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
well, I'll make a motion to give Blake Parker to proceed with the Eagle Scout project as proposed.
Just a second.
I'll second.
Motion been made and second. Any other comments? No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried. Thanks, Blake.
luck.
Appreciate you coming.
Good luck.
Next thing on the agenda is old business amendment housing code violation 502 Potawatomi Street and 310 Hiawatha Avenue. I guess, do we have a speaker tonight? You're all right, Rick.
Well, we've been working on the siding and the parts around the window.
The windowsills?
window seals and stuff, and the porch has been braced back up, so it's not sagging and stuff, and the ramp, the wheelchair ramp, of course, because I gotta have that thing.
Has to be painted. So it doesn't get stuck on it again.
Now you guys can talk.
Okay, him and I spent a large portion of Saturday, not just this Saturday, but just this last Saturday. We spent a large portion of it working on the yard, trying to get it cleaned up. There's still some to be done, I understand. But we are in the process. We also got to have a decent day to get things to the dump. And we're trying to start painting, but then we get either hot or we get cold or we get wet. So we're having to work around all that, but we are trying very hard to get it done.
What's the, you got a small tent in there.
It
What's
is a
that all
portable
about?
shed.
Huh?
It's a portable shed. So it is movable, but for the time being, it's actually storing their new tub. So, and a few other things, but it's storing their new tub right now.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get things straightened around, getting it cleaned up. Getting everybody together at the same time has been really hard. So because Bobby and Nancy are in Mayetta, he works in Topeka. Yeah, he's had to work every weekend. I work every other weekend. So it's been him and I the last 2 weekends I've had off. So there's only so much that we can get done in those days. But we're making an honest to God effort. Okay, we're trying very hard. He's trying to get the back thing over the stairway to the basement. There's that back little, I don't even know what you want to call that thing. But anyway, he's getting it all shored up.
I guess what you're, actually where your plan, how you gonna get there, I guess. It don't look to me like it's changed much, I guess. Other than maybe just a few items moved around, so.
No, we picked up a lot of stuff just this weekend. 2 weekends ago, we did some. We've got to take a couple of trailers to the dump. We are working on it. But with him in his condition, she's works just about every weekend. I only have so many days off during the week. I also have a husband that lives in Everest that likes to see me once in a while. So, and worse shape than him. So, yeah, we're trying the best we can when we can't get the other 2 brothers here to help very much. Yeah, the middle brother can't. I mean, he has work obligations. The baby brother, you all know him. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. You all know him.
Well, yeah, we know him.
So, you know how reliable that is. Doing what we can, working on it hard. I did start painting, but I found out I'm a whole lot more scared of heights than I thought I was. Okay. We did rebuild some screens. I got the screens, windows covered. So we're trying to get, yeah, we got them all covered now, don't we?
Think so.
Except for the one on the back. So, but
Dave, I guess Dave's back there. Have you done a drive-through?
Excuse me. That I've not done a drive-through.
Okay.
And well, I've done a drive-by. It's quite obvious. Most things that we look at are visual things. The property looks very depressing, dilapidated, in very poor condition. I recognize that they're doing something, but I see no improvements. And there's no building permits. We've talked about that. Somebody wanted me to magically tell them what it is that they need to do. I can do that, but Are they going to follow my instructions, or am I the curator of their project? Probably not. I don't even know who owns the property. It's not been clearly defined to me in our records.
Do you guys have a clear title?
We have, what is that thing called?
You have a descent.
It's, yeah, here.
Descent decree, yeah.
It's those 4 kids. It's me and the 3 boys. Rick's the oldest, I'm the next.
So you don't really have a clear title?
No.
Okay, well, I guess, I don't know.
But by that same token, mom, dad both passed away just before the whole thing got paid off too. So, and I'm not sure right around that time. Did the Sheets boys do that after mom, just before daddy died?
So you assume one day you'll get a clear title to it?
Yeah. We're working. Got to figure out how to do all this.
That's what I'm gonna ask you.
We've never had parents
Yeah.
die until,
Been there, done that, but
still
I
trying to
just-
figure this out.
I mean, realistically, how do you think you'll get all of this done? I mean, even the surface things like painting and stuff, and this takes time and money. I mean,
I've
How-
already put, just in the last 2 weeks, put over $1,000 into this out of my own pocket, not
$1,000
asking for a reimbursement from my brothers or anything else.
and-
I am working as much and as hard as I can. And a lot of that's been tools,
Okay,
but just trying to get things going. And I'm letting my own house go to hell in a way, because I'm trying to keep them in a house and keep the house that has been in our family for 46 years.
Brian, you got a comment?
I'm not interested in tearing their house down, period. So
well, I appreciate if you're working towards it. What I also would hate to see is that you put a lot of money into it and still not get done what has to be done. Because eventually it will have to come down if it doesn't meet
And
standards. I mean, you get that.
I understand that. Just like we said last time, I'm working 40+ hours a week. She works, God, how many hours a week? You see what kind of conditions he's in. You know, the baby brother. I'm just not even going any farther than that. Bobby gets up here when he can. So, you know.
What do you actually want us to do, I guess?
I just want more time. I know that
How
we
much
keep
time?
asking for more time.
How much time you need? I mean, to make a difference. I mean, winter's coming on now.
And I understand that. But we've also should have some good days coming up that where we can get some of the painting done, where we can get some of that siding pieces fixed. Where I can get people that aren't afraid of heights to crawl up there and work on the eaves and all that stuff. I'm a chicken when it comes to heights. Always have been, always will be.
Well, and I appreciate the fact that you're making the effort to continue to come in. I mean,
Right.
that says a lot. I'm like Commissioner Shepherd. I don't necessarily want to tear anything down, but at the same time, it does get to the point where if you can't continue making that progress.
Can we have till the end of the year? 2
I
months.
mean, I myself would say 6 months because.
Okay, give me whatever you want, whatever you
Once the snow
can.
starts flying,
Right, yeah.
not much is gonna get done. And we have a lot of other stuff to do. I don't know if we need to keep beating this horse every other month. Just
If we
give
can
them
get it
6
to,
months, get through the winter, and then we've got a lot of other stuff we can be working on. They can be working on their place too. And then dress it in 6 months and see how far they've actually came.
because that would get us through end of March, first part of April, somewhere in there.
We're still not. gonna
That's
be
when we're
quite in
getting,
Spring,
but it's better weather than,
Well, the weather's not getting any better, so
well,
we
but,
know that, so.
but you also know, right now, this time of year, we can go anywhere from the 50s like it is today to the 80s. Hopefully
Well,
it coincides today's when we can work.
we're in a situation right now, if we, and like Brian says, you know, if this weather turns, you're not gonna get anything done in next 2 months anyway.
Well, we may not be able to get painting and stuff done, but there's some of the other stuff.
A lot
Yeah,
of the yard can be picked up.
We can
and
still keep
stuff can be
cleaning
hauled
on the
off
yard,
and
get-
all that stuff. And honestly, that's probably what a lot of people complain about is the condition of the yard.
right. And that's, if you went by there in the last couple of days, you would have at least the last 2 days, well, since Saturday, seen a heck of a big difference.
Well, I've been by there and, I just seen an increase of little sheds and I
Well-
thought maybe we just cover stuff up inside that.
No, that is the tub and supplies.
Get into and out of easily without falling.
Well, I don't go on
Right.
people's property just.
But yeah,
Notice
it's a
around.
tub and it's like wood, it's stuff that we can use to work on what we need to work on. It's supplies, it's tools, it's stuff that we need actually at this point. So,
I mean, if we didn't have houses ahead that we can get to first, I would probably not be as likely to do that. But since we have others that we need to do anyway, but it's not going to continue being this way though.
I,
So, I mean, just as long,
But if you
and
could
you
get-
get that, but
yeah, if you can give us that 6 months and give us a little less stress. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I guess,
that's not what that's about.
I
But
guess it's up to the commission right now. I mean, if there's a motion on the floor to give you a 6 month extension, then, that's where if the commission wants to make a motion. And, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to extend the getting repairs done until April 25th of 2022. But that will be the last one that I mean, I don't know, the rest of the commission may be different. If you come in April 25th and say we this, and that, I'm sorry. So as long as you understand that, I am fine with April 25th, 2022.
we'll check in with Mr. Wilson as needed to see if he has any more guidance on what we can or need to do at any point. I mean, later.
Well, he'll give you all the guidance you want
And
if you
yeah,
get it done. That's.
right.
it's
And
not a
that's what
problem
we're
then.
trying. And I mean, we got the paperwork that was sent and we're trying to, figure all that out, and get it all worked out. We
Okay,
are.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other comments?
No, I agree with what's been said on to this 6 month extension, but we need to see significant progress. And you need to get a building permit.
Yeah, you
Okay.
need, if you're gonna do any work on your property, you need to get a permit at City Hall. And City
Okay.
Hall's open 5 days a week. So
Okay. I'm actually staying in town tonight. I will be here in the morning and I will get a building permit for whatever we need to get a building permit for. Okay?
well, you got a motion and a second, and any other comments?
No, I agree. As long as we're making progress, we can, show that. And
There's motion second. No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried. Make sure you get some progress done because there won't be any more extensions.
I will, if I have, I will even I can post monthly pictures if you want me to.
Well, you don't have,
Okay?
you don't have to because I drive by every day. So,
Okay.
all right, so,
And I know Mr. Shepherd said he goes by there quite often, so.
all right. All right, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Next thing on the consider updating the license and permit.
We got this other property.
but then the other property too.
301, 310,
502.
502 Park.
502. Is there anybody here for 502?
No,
That was
Nobody's
310
here.
Kansas, right?
what's that?
That was 310 Kansas.
Hiawatha, 310 Hiawatha. 502 Potawatomi it's the one that through this year's minimum housing list has been 2 weeks behind. because there was a change in ownership when we first started this. Kind of an update on it from the formal hearing. Since then, there have been no improvements of conditions noted. There have been no contacts made by the owner or any representatives of the owner. We haven't heard from the owner in 2 months, at least 2-3 months. Yeah.
Well, there's nobody here representing it, so I guess we'll just go ahead with the process and go ahead and. So, I mean, if they're not that concerned, these people are concerned, so I guess. If we're not concerned, I think we need to go ahead with the demolition project. That's part of the demolition.
Correct.
I don't think we're gonna get all this stuff done anyway, so I'm not concerned about tearing anybody's property down for quite some time, because what we need to get done is a Tony Eisenberg property been done.
We're waiting on confirmation from him of disconnecting the utilities.
Okay.
That's what we're waiting on.
And we got a lot of potholes filled, so
Yeah.
that needs to be done right away, so. Our street department needs to be working on streets, so we don't, I'm not interested in tearing property down tonight anyway, so I think that if they don't represent themselves, then they don't need due process, so that's the way I feel, so.
Our recommendation would be a motion to order the structures removed or demolished and approve soliciting bids for the removal and salvage of said property.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion been made, second. Any comments? No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried. Next thing, considered update on license and permits. That's tissue deal. So.
Okay. So, we worked on changing some of the different license things that, the construction contractor license, go to $75 a year and $50 for renewals. That's just a bump of $25 for renewals, $50 for a new. Tree trimmers the same, so that way they're the same across the board and they will still require a surety bond. Solicitors, peddlers, we went to $50 per person per week, and it's a 7-day period. Mobile food trucks, we changed to $100 per year, and then adding a mobile food vendor license to be available for a fee of $25 per event for special events. So I think we might have addressed all the concerns.
Okay.
So our recommendation is to approve the recommended changes and additions and bring back in ordinance form if you are so inclined.
Whatever, I mean, it's to actually increase the cost. I think our expenses are just a little bit higher now.
Mhm.
And they're not gonna like it, I'll tell you that.
And this is in line with what surrounding areas?
It is. I brought several different areas licensing, and it's actually still on the low side.
Well, as many licenses we've got in this city, it's a major income for us, I guess you might say, but again, when you're looking at the Joe Blow public out there paying them license fees, I don't think they're gonna be happy with it. So.
How many contractors how many licenses do we give out in a year?
Approximately 90 contractors, 30 electricians, 42 plumbers and mechanics, 8 tree trimmers. And then you have the liquor licenses.
So
Yeah, but $75 for a contractor, they can make that up pretty darn quick in one job.
What we're trying to do is,
Anytime that the contractor gets charged more money, he adds it on the first bill. And Joe Blow Public's gonna pay for it. So.
Yeah, but you're talking the increase of $50 for a new license and what, 25 for a renewal?
correct.
So they walk in my house, they've made that on one job for a year.
First off, you gotta get one, and show up.
Well, that's true.
yeah, I
That's a good
never
point.
could imagine there's 90 of them.
Well, and
That's my problem.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if we're gonna show up at all if we raise the rates. So.
So basically, if there's 90 contractors, that's like an extra $2,200 a year. Is it worth $2,200 to cause the ruckus, I guess, is what,
I don't know.
that's just my take on it. I know people are gonna be very upset.
I
And
understand.
if it's $2,200, I don't think it's worth. I just don't think it's worth it myself, but I'm only one person.
And the reason was just because the amount of time it takes to process all the paperwork.
It
and
does.
Things of that sort.
Right, and then we do, I mean, we advertise for them, they're on the city website as an approved licensed contractor. Which that takes time too.
Well, employees are a fixed expense. I mean, they're here every day and we pay them every day.
That's right.
So it's not like it, we're going out and hiring a contractor to come in and do that work for us. So I guess I just, right now, I guess I'm not interested in raising any rates. So
I think it's important that we have a food truck license because right now we don't. And
I
if-
think we can work on stuff we're not addressing, but
We don't have a license for food trucks, so they can just,
come and serve whatever they want to.
When they have to have KDHE, meet their requirements, but yeah, we don't have.
well, that doesn't make sense. So like, what about the kettle corn guy?
They don't have one.
But then they would need to pay the $25 for per event or $100 per year.
Correct.
Well, that would make sense. I don't know. I'd talk a lot. What do you guys think?
Well, I think the state has certain requirements for food trucks that they should apply for and get that. And I guess if we initiated our own permit for that, that would ensure that they've done their own homework on obtaining their paperwork from the state. It just extra insurance that we've got somebody that's got a decent
And then we
operation
also,
that we don't get
I don't know.
food poisoning or something else going on that.
I don't know how to get, them food trucks has got to pass some kind of quality control. And I don't know if it's our job for quality control.
that's not what we're doing. We're making sure that they've done the licensing through the state and that they're paying their retail sales tax also.
Yeah.
I mean,
And once again, it's $25 for one event. You can't tell me they're not going to make over $25 sitting out here at the Halloween parade.
And this is for food trucks, not for Boy Scout troops that sell popcorn or something. It's
They
It's
would have
prepared
to
food,
be
right?
doing their events through the special event license. Through the event coordinators.
The food trucks.
No,
yeah.
I guess my take on it is this whole food truck thing's kind of new this year. I don't think we've ever really had them come to town, and I think it's really cool that they're doing that. I don't want to chase off any of them.
$25 isn't going to chase anybody off,
You might be surprised. It might be the principle of it.
which they have that other places, other cities.
oh, they do, definitely.
So I think that's probably something they would expect.
And
We have restaurants that prepare food and they're required to have paperwork like this. So I don't have a problem with it on food vendors that make prepared food myself.
well, there's got to be some kind of control over the food trucks, so, I mean, I don't know if what would you do? We charge them the fee and then we don't monitor it?
No, they have to
Food
provide
quality.
us
Do we
with,
have a state come in?
the state can come in at any time.
Do they have to have a restaurant license for selling?
They
food?
have to be inspected by the health department, and then they have to have inspections on their hood unit, and they have to have inspections on their, how they keep the temperatures on their food.
But they would, for our license, they would have to present their
Right,
state license.
the state license,
Saying that they're current and whatnot, that they passed all that.
they have to provide their retail sales tax license, their state license, and their health inspection. And then their insurance for the vehicle.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and break this down and just so we can get this done and move on to, because I have a question on another one, but I will make a motion that we approve to change the current $25 fee for 1 year to $100 per year for mobile food vendor licenses. And then we also add an event mobile food vendor license to be available for a fee of $25 per event, not to exceed 3 days. And that all licenses to expire on December 31st each year in accordance with other licenses. And then y'all can decide to vote however you want to vote.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and second. Any other comments? Are we working on one issue?
Yeah, because
Yeah, we're not.
since we're
working
not,
on
I mean,
other topics.
I have no problems with the others, but obviously everybody else did. So, or not everybody, but
Well,
so I just thought we'd start with.
as long as we're working on one issue, then that's saved my vote, so. So, all right, you got any comments, Brian?
I don't think so.
Yeah, anybody else? Dave?
I wouldn't have a problem raising the fees on the other things. We're paying our employees more money to retain them, and our expenses keep going up, and it takes several hours to process these things. So I would be in favor of the whole proposal myself.
But I think I wanted to make sure or hope I could get some of it passed. So I thought that's why I would go ahead and break it down just to do
Well, I'll
that.
vote against the whole proposal, so it's, that's where I'm standing, so. I'd go with the vending license on the one siege, but, after that, I'm out, so. Okay.
Well, let's vote.
There's a motion in a second.
Get a motion in a second, just on the vendor side.
On the mobile food and the event license.
There's any other comments? No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried.
One other thing, I feel that we have to require a surety bond for a tree trimmer also.
Yeah, I don't think we're done with it all.
Okay.
I went ahead and just broke it down because I said,
Let's just work on one issue at a time. We got another meeting coming up.
so. A question about the solicitor peddler's permit. Yeah, that is number 3. I guess I'm going backwards. I mean, I have no problem increasing it because I don't want anybody coming to my door to sell me anything, but that's a personal thing. So I don't know what the rest of you think about that, if we need to increase that.
They gotta find me if they come to my door. My door's always locked and, I'm never in the house, so.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we increase the current fee of $25 per person per 6 months to $50 per person per week for solicitors, peddlers, door-to-door sales.
Does anybody want to second it?
Oh, it's gonna die.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
How many permits do we issue for door to door?
Usually a couple per year, but we get a lot of phone calls of people going door to door without them.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
So when they get that, then the police go and then they come and have to get their license.
Don't
I'll
shake your
I'll
head.
second it.
Motion and second, for peddlers, and so. Is there any other comments? I think we'll have a roll call.
A roll call.
Yeah.
Commissioner Shepherd,
Nay.
Commissioner Middendorf,
Aye.
Commissioner Shamberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Willicke,
No,
Mayor Collins.
Nay. Motion failed.
I'm sending you your house bill.
Let them come. They gotta find me first, so. All right. I think we beat this to death already, so.
Well, have
We've
we?
got-
I mean, the contractors and the tree trimmer. I mean, Commissioner Middendorf, well, you said that you have no qualms with
I'm
increasing
in favor of
that.
raising all of them, all four of them, but I think the point that Tish has brought out that we need to have a surety bond, do we not require that now?
We do not
Okay, well, I think that's important.
For the tree trimmers.
for the tree
The tree
trimmers.
trimmers.
We do for contractors already.
So
I'd make a motion to increase the fees for tree trimmers and require a surety bond as proposed.
second,
Motion been made and seconded. Any other comments? No other comments. We're on a roll call.
Commissioner Middendorf,
Aye.
Commissioner Shamberg,
aye.
Commissioner Willicke,
all right.
Commissioner Shepherd,
Nay.
Mayor Collins.
Nay.
Just so we'll, I guess, so we'll just get them all done and it will go as it follows. I make a motion, we increase the current fee of $25 to $75 for new license and $50 for renewals for construction contractors license. And that's the only change. I don't need anything else.
Right.
Okay, so I'll just throw it out there and let it go where it goes.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded. We have a roll call.
Commissioner Shamberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Willicke,
All right.
Commissioner Shepherd,
Nay.
Commissioner Middendorf,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Nay. Motion carried.
Thank you, Tish.
Thank you. I think I have to be up here for the next thing too. Hang on. Trying to write as fast as I can. So we're done with this, right? We're
Yeah,
going to the
that was all.
next. The next thing is a temporary on-premise liquor license application. Lisa Radley, who owns First Street Bar and Grill, would like to be doing the event, which is in Bruce for the chamber at the Fisher Center on the 31st. She has an approved stateless liquor license, so now she's just needing the cities.
Motion we go ahead and approve the cereal malt beverage license for Lisa Ranley. Okay. Guess that's one down. Red's new one just opened.
No, well, yes, they own that one also, but she's doing it through First Street Bar and Grill, I believe.
Whatever.
I think she has a caterer's license permit through First Street.
I would add that I actually suggested this for the chamber. We've had nothing but good luck with this folks. They've got several of these in the past. I also knew in the short time the chamber had to do their event, it would be faster if we brought in somebody that was already using and that already does a license and knows how to do it. They were quick about it. It looks good. And again, law enforcement in town, we've never had an issue with them at all. They've always done everything we've ever asked. So that would be my input.
I can make that motion. Motion to approve temporary permit on the premise license for Lisa Riley for the Witches and Brews event sponsored by the Hiawatha Chamber and Commerce, and authorize the city clerk to sign any necessary documents.
And I'm sorry, that should have said mayor and city clerk. Sorry about that.
Good.
Sorry.
You're all right.
I heard.
Yeah,
you say
that's
that.
what I meant to say.
I heard you say it. Second.
Motion been made and second. Any other comments? No other comments will vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Next thing on the agenda is consider request for annexation in the city of Hiawatha. I guess everybody looked at the annexation on Iowa Street. And it's a volunteer annexation. Mike, you might just go ahead. I think you all read it from the attorney that sent us a letter.
Yeah, it's, we're contacted by Collins Law Office, client of theirs, is requesting to annex a portion of their land along the south side of East Iowa Street into the city limits. It's approximately 10 acres. Additionally, the request is for the city to take possession of a private water line in the crop field. The line is approximately 3,000 feet long. That serves 2 residents at the east end of the water line, almost to East Iowa and Mallard. I think it's Mallard. As well as provide for an easement for the line. Did find out, in the memo, at that time, we thought it was 1.5 or 2 inch line. Brad found out today, I think, that in looking at old service records for the meter, that it's a 3 inch line. Throwing that out just because that's an odd size. Parts are harder to come by. They exist, but it's just an uncommon size. So I had 1.5 to 2 inch in the report. So I want to let you know that it's a 3. But basically they're requesting transfer of ownership of the existing water line, 3 inch water line to belong to the city with a 15-foot easement following the line as laid, all per standard terms for any damages incurred during installation, repair, etc. to crops if there was a repair when crops are in the field.
You mean to tell me you can't get 3 inch PVC?
You can get it.
So actually, this is nothing we have to replace in the near future until there's some kind of developments. Yeah, it's not like we gotta go out and spend any money right now. This stuff's available, so we can get it. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but I mean, it's something you can get if you want to do a patchwork on a repair.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's available. It's a less common size. I was just correcting my report.
Okay.
They also voluntarily annexed a northern portion of their tract into the city limits to extend the line parallel with the south lines of the other residential tracts from the east all the way working to the west, basically to the Ag Museum property line. They have requested or have assumed it would require a survey, which it would, and they're asking that be at the expense of the city, along with any necessary title work, and be done with the understanding that this tract, 10 acres plus or minus, would remain zoned agricultural for the foreseeable future, unless a change is requested by the landowner. Like you said, it's a 3 inch water line. It's served by a 3/4 inch water meter and a 3/4 inch service line. And coming from I think it comes under Iowa from a water main on the north side of Iowa Street. Trying to see, from what we know, it's approximately 40 years old. It's PVC. So we kind of went through different options if the city were to consider this. One is just to leave the existing service line and private line in place and replace the two residence meters with our meters. Where it goes down to the residents, they have existing meter pits, but they have old meters that I think they bought from the city years ago. So they can report to the account holder how much water they used, and then they pay accordingly to the account owner. We would take out the existing meter that we have and replace their two meters with our meters, so we could set individual accounts up with the two residential houses. So I've got in here the risk involved, the unknown condition of the existing line, and water pressure. Now, that being said, we're assuming the pressure's not terrible because it's been in operation for up to 40 years. We're not real sure. The approximate cost I've got down is 300 because the meter we're using right now could obviously go in one of the pits, and then we'd have to put another meter in the other pit. Option 2, replace the existing service line with a 2-inch line. I would imagine we'd still stay at 2. And that's coming from the main on the north side of Iowa under the road to tie into the existing 3-inch. Right, like I said, right now it's a 3/4 inch. So they're kind of restricted on volume as to what can go through that 3/4 inch. That we're looking at approximately $1,000. Option 3 is bore a 4-inch water line under Iowa from there's the main on the north side of Iowa Street goes all the way down to the cemetery and dead ends right there, Mount Hope. So another option would be to bore under from the end of that line. I think we talked about placing a hydrant, boring under and tying into the private line, or what's currently the private line. At that point, basically eliminating a good section of the private line to the west, not having to worry about future failure of that part. That we're looking at about $1,500 to do that. Then options 4 and 5 are basically the same, but that would be 4 would be bore under, at the cemetery with a 4-inch line, and then trench a new 4-inch line all the way down to the residence. Option 5 would be continue on from where the line is at the cemetery on the north side of Iowa, go down to the residence and then bore under to meet those. These were kind of the five options that we thought of. I don't know of any other. That kind of covers it, but we just want to make you all aware of it. And I did look up additionally, if all 3 properties were annexed into the city, the increase in property tax revenue would be approximately $750 per year as the properties are now. That being said, right now they're also outside water rates. So the decrease in their water rates, if they annex in, they'd be inside city limits. It'd be a decrease of about $600 per year for the water department.
I guess I'm not so concerned about the minimal cost. I'm concerned about developing the city. Our city, if you're going to sit here and stand idle and you don't want to develop property, you got 10 acres from the Fisher Center over, and I assume if we bring a line across the road, then we'll put a T in there. So if people decide to build to the west, then we can actually accommodate them. Most of the people out there I've been in contact with already, and they was concerned about their septic tanks and stuff. And I told them, if you volunteer annexation, it's different than when we force annexation on you. So we don't have to put a SIR line to you in that area. And so that was their concern, and their property tax going up wasn't a concern, and their water rates wasn't a concern either. And but again, I'm looking at developing the city, I guess. You get 10 acres in there, you can build 10 houses, and it's all laid flat, and it's but we need to look at the future instead of looking backwards. So that's where I'm at. So I mean, anybody else got anything?
Yeah, I like the idea of annexing the land for sure, for what you just said. And then I was thinking it'd be a good idea to run that a new pipe under the road from the cemetery, that 4-inch, and like you say, put a T there, abandon the west end of it for the time being. And then I'd leave the old pipe where it's at until it starts causing problems, then we can evaluate.
Yeah, there's no use spending money if you don't have to.
Right.
And once they start developing, it's
Well, the developer can pay for a new water
Yeah.
line to services.
well, and actually, especially assessment and everything else, because I mean, if they come in, they want a sewer line, and we've got one up there, but we probably have to put a lift station in, but it don't take too many. Most of the homes we got building now is $500,000, and they're not cheap homes, so I think we need to look at developing Hiawatha. I'm not a penny ante speaker about a nickel here and a nickel there. If you don't want to develop, then you're going backwards. So that's where I'm at. I mean, I would say I'd agree with annexation into the property, and leaving the line the way it is, push a line underneath the cemetery. We got that 4-inch line laying there. Shoot it in, put a T on, and if anybody wants to develop to the west, then it'll minimum our cost to. And if somebody wants to build, then all we got to do is shoot a line into them. So that's where I'm at. So.
Just want to let y'all know, Brad and I were talking about it last week, and I know the options went from cheapest to most expensive, but we weren't necessarily against the most expensive one for fire protection purposes as well. There are funds available in the capital improvement fund for water, more than enough to run the line, but running that 4-inch all the way down to the residential, the 2 residences would also allow for hydrants to be placed down at the end by those 2 houses, and even along the line, or we could stub in. So if it were developed in the future, we could already have a T stubbed in to where a hydrant can go. So I know I started with the cheapest and went to the most expensive, but we did discuss, one that we have funds available. But knowing that, I think, the important thing tonight is whether or not to accept the request to annex. And then the other question would be, is the city willing to pay for the survey and the title work as well, if that's the case?
Is there any way we can work it into I mean, what they're doing is they're talking about running a line off the backside of the homes that's there now and shooting it straight across. Is that what they're doing?
No, the line's actually up closer to the road, behind the telephone poles.
No, I'm talking about the back line, the one behind the homes.
I'm not sure what. Oh,
Yeah, we got to get
the
on board
property
here.
line, this is what they proposed, going back.
Well, they're talking about bringing that line from the back of the homes, the existing home, straight across.
Yeah.
And which will give you the depth you need, because there's one home's in there, it's got an acre straight back across, and it's a lot deeper than the rest. So if you use that line, then the property line on the property you're annexing in is going to be deeper too. to actually, if we do the survey work, and what's the cost, I guess.
Oh. No,
That all,
geez.
that's all part of the equation here.
It's been years.
I think it was $1,000 when I did 5 acres.
Yeah,
So it'd be probably somewhere around there.
yeah, I'd say 1,000 to 1,500-ish safely.
So tonight, all we really need to decide is if we're gonna annex it, and then the decision on what we do with the water line is different, or do we need to decide that tonight? I mean, I would trust my water guy to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to decide tonight, but I was just, the
Yeah.
important thing is, I mean, the first thing is the commission willing to accept the request to annex?
Right.
Well, I think what we got out there, we got one guy that's trying to sell his property, and he'd like to know if he's gonna have water, they're gonna cut it off. And that was his opinion. And because the guy, if he's already told them that if there's another contract, then he'll shut their water off, and they won't have any water. And,
I guess my take on it is if anybody that wants to be annexed in, I'd be all for it. I mean, if that's what they want. I don't know why we wouldn't do it. And it helps them out.
And it's volunteer. I mean, we don't have to actually shoot them a sewer line either.
Yeah.
And if we actually go in and take it in domain, and in 5 years, we got to put them a line in, so for sure. So, I mean, it's a lot different from sieging their property instead of volunteer annexation. So, I mean, that's.
Mike, do you happen to know, there's a gas line running probably 20 feet back from the edge of that farm field that runs east and west, and then there's signs that mark a fiber optic line that are in line with that, the poles. So if we stick our water line, if we ever had to dig that existing line up or create an easement for the line, you know how that works if somebody else already has utilities in the ground? And
Well, actually,
I don't know if they have a
the line that comes in there it's a high pressure line that feeds the city.
The gas line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's to the backside of the property owners. That's where it comes through.
Okay.
And the water line follows more toward the telephone poles on the road, and that's where the water line comes in. Is that right?
As far as I know, yeah. Water line, yes, it's up.
But the gas line is a high pressure line. That's it
I guess
comes in the city.
I don't know what regulations there are for how far away you got to be from somebody else's utilities. If we can still, well, the line's already there, so.
Yeah.
That I'm not sure.
We're not putting a new line in, so.
Yeah, I'm
Guess I
guessing
answered
there's
my own
cases
question.
where there's multiple in our right of ways in town.
There is, and the regulations really have more to do with water and sewer lines that have to be so far apart normally.
Yeah.
I know there's multiple places here in town where all of our lines are, on 4 foot right of way, and it's pretty congested. I'm not exactly sure if there's a regulation for gas lines and fiber optic, things like that. I know there's a lot of it.
Well, the lines are already there, so I guess it don't matter. We're not putting.
Well, the only thing, I mean, I already talked to the company that owns the gas line.
Okay.
And I visited them last week, and they told me it's a high pressure line. And I said, what if we decide to develop it? And he said it was $10,000 hookup. And I said, well, that might be a little bit better if we get the gas company and have them run a new line back.
Yeah.
And well, he didn't disagree with that, but he said. So I already went, I've been on this probably too long. I mean, I'm just the only thing I'm interested is, I've been on this commission a long time, And I want to develop this community, and you got to look forward, not backwards. And that's where I'm at on the whole issue is you annex property and you got a future development program. That's where we need to be instead of backing up. And so I guess I'd entertain a motion to go ahead with the annexation for the property.
I'll make that motion. I don't know how you want to word it, but
That'd be to accept the request as written. To annex, voluntarily annex into the city. Does that include us paying for the survey and title work?
I think a couple $1,000 would be cheap. So I think if we can develop 4 homes and create $1 million with assets, I guess, I think it looks cheap to me, so whatever. So
I'll second the motion.
motion been made and second. Any other comments? No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried.
So what about the water line?
I think the water line, we need to address that when we push that line underneath the road.
Yeah, I think it's.
That's probably the only connection we need to do until more development's going on.
Yeah, I mean, as we move forward with this, I don't know that we're gonna have anything for next Monday night as far as the actual annexation and all that, the paperwork. Part of me would still recommend going along the north side of Iowa Street, because then in the future, should there be a problem, we're not in a crop field. Crops are in or anything. We're completely out of that crop field. I know it'll cost more, but we do have ample funds to handle that.
I think that's a good idea. Stay on the north as far as you can, and then shoot it across and cut down to at least half of that side there. And if you get it developed, then it'd be cheap.
We'll just go under. Yeah.
So,
We'll Brad and I'll keep looking into what that would require.
sounds good. Next thing on the executive session, non-elected personnel matters, be the commission only, and it'd be 20 minutes.
I'll make a motion that the city commission recess into executive session in the conference room for a period of 20 minutes to discuss matters regarding an issue of potential city personnel. The justification for closing the meeting is to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel. The open meeting will resume at 7:10. Well,
By the time you vote. and all that.
7:09, okay, I say
By
7:09,
the
but
time you vote.
7:10. In the commission chambers and to include the city commission. And that's it. Okay.
There's a second.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any other comment? We'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, you guess you saw.
yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go have a smoke. Never get to do that.
I promise you, they won't get lost or anything, I promise.
Will they be ready tomorrow?
They will. Can I call you or email you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not mine.
Okay. There are 2 copies in here that are already signed original copies, and that's what Mike said. One can be just right for us. Yeah, you can take that. I might text you. That's fine too. Okay, I work here in town. I work at your house. Okay. And I promise, as soon as they get them, I'll get you. No problem.
You guys have a good
Thank
night.
you for all your help.
Yeah, no problem.
So if I was understanding right, I just need to get contact him.
We need to check too, because that was why I was given dates something, because the FAA, right, requires some kind of permitting, so we're trying to get all our, the.
Sorry, I'm like,
Air.
okay, yes,
Federal Aviation Administration, there we go.
okay.
They might. Sorry. Yeah.
I was like, my voice is like right there.
I know, I'm trying.
Okay.
But let us find out, because Mike can find out through the airport stuff that we have.
Okay.
What all requirements, KDOT sometimes requires things depending on how close it is to the road.
Well, and that's what we were gonna do, is we were gonna do one on the highway and then one on at the airport for like, and we've been talking with Jim Regal. And Jim Regal's like, going through KDOT, it's like, oh. Well, so,
Yeah.
Boy Scouts have come up with a thing where there is a diversity fair badge, that if they do not have the legals, then by July 1st, they can take another additional merit badge. No.
But we will try to help you out as quickly and, you know.
We figured if we could get this done,
Mhm.
and then we just approved, and then we can start doing donations and all that good stuff.
I'm not gonna, like, make you in the winter, because no one's gonna show up. Yeah. I'm not doing it by myself.
Sorry, mom is not showing up in the winter.
Yeah. Putting it up would be interesting. You know, you might think of, I know you were talking about big rocks. I read
Yeah.
your whole proposal, it was great.
We brought up the one at Sugar Shack.
Mhm.
So,
How are you going to get are you cold?
I'm freezing, but
Well, it's been hot up here for stuffy, but, how are you gonna get a rock delivered there?
you're like, mom.
I know.
We have, what I was thinking was, Chief Supermarket, which is excavating. Because he's the one that carried our big humongous rock for our business. Which is, yeah, humongous.
I know, it's beautiful.
And so, that's kind of where we were
Mhm.
leaning towards, and I mean, we have big humongous rocks and, you know, tears up. our
There you go.
So, we were hoping, but we wanted to start with one thing and then.
We're gonna do concrete with metal pillars, but I like the idea of rock. Looks better.
Yeah.
I made powder coated so it doesn't rust.
That's what Sugar Shack says, is powder coated.
It is.
So theirs is, it's engraved on both sides,
All right.
and then there's a thick piece of metal
That's what I'm trying to
inside.
say.
And so, that's the idea he wants, but when we were looking at it, that's only a 4x5, by the way, their sign. It's only a 4x5.
So are you, so you said you were gonna basically do 3, is that right? Am I thinking that correctly?
No, so it.
Signs, what I meant by 3 was there's one in front, one in the middle, one.
Yes, that's the engraved on each side.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
So.
You have the picture of
Thank you.
it. Send it to me.
They-
I don't know.
Not too pro.
I know. Okay. Picture before, middle, and end.
Yes, we do. Okay, so this is all a sheet of metal and it's in,
No,
so that's on the other
I
side
picture
too. So then there's a thick piece of metal in between.
Okay, I see.
So then it's like attached on
It's
metal brackets, attached to the boulders.
Nice.
So that's the idea.
Gotcha. That would look very nice. Very
So then-
nice. I don't know what guy.
I think you're gonna need it more longer,
Long.
because if you're putting Hiawatha Municipal Airport.
Oh,
and I
you're
think-
fine.
I think on
put it
that
in recycle.
sheet that I found online, it was
I gotta find a guy that does.
1946, I think is what it is.
I think, I don't know. Yeah, well, good luck and
The
seriously.
legwork
if
all
you-
behind this is.
Yeah, if you have any questions or you need any help with anything,
let me know, you know, we will do.
And I got your
whatever we
card that
can.
day too, so.
Okay, yeah,
Good.
so,
I apologize for that day. That day
It's
was
okay.
kind of-
you know what, we all have days, it's okay. I have.
Here, hold this on.
Welcome
No
to
way.
government.
Working on it, it's not even better.
Yeah, I know.
And I do great, so like, it's not even better.
Oh,
so.
yeah, well, thank you,
Thank
and
you.
again, like I said, if you guys have any questions or anything, please call me anytime, and, well, you'll have my cell phone number probably tomorrow, so, yeah, if you have anything, email, call, whatever.
Okay.
You know, we're
It's just
usually pretty
knowing the
good.
regulations and all the little steps we have to
Yeah,
press T's.
and I can really help you with those.
All the paperwork.
This part of it at least,
See,
anyway.
and that's, I try to do all of it on him, you know.
You did a great job, though.
His projects, but I'm like, shit, he's in school, and I'm like, okay, the businesses are open 8 to 5, and I'm like, and if you do sports, if you do this.
Right.
and I'm-
You should come to one of to the airport board meetings when they have another one.
Get with Jim,
Yeah,
and that way you can,
they usually have it here.
but you're not done with this yet. They have to sign it, and guess what, we get it back, and now you have to go to
I
the
bet
true.
you anything, you will get a lot of financial support.
From that.
Yeah, and they would know who to reach out to, you know, for that kind of stuff too.
The board,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, for sure.
well, no.
You could also be modern and do GoFundMe.
Yeah.
No.
That works a lot around here.
Yeah, no,
Well, I'm gonna put this right in the.
I
front
don't
of my
wanna,
book,
I don't wanna
because
downgrade anybody, but I like to think that we're a little bit above
I
that.
don't disagree.
I'm like, I'm not trying to make that sound completely
No, I
wrong.
don't disagree at all.
I like to think we're a little above that.
Yeah. It's,
Okay, we got court of honor now.
all right, have a great night.
I know,
Thank you,
it's never
guys.
ending.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chief,
Yes, ma'am.
in my phone.
You may be on the door. No worries.
If that thing goes.
If it goes off, I'm gonna stop it and I'll go tell them to come in.
Yeah. Thanks.
Have a good one. Steve P. You're Steve P.
Thank you.
Do you need another water?
No.
Probably outside.
Oh, yeah, but. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, you just.
I know about it. Everybody has it that day, and you don't know why.
Until you have to use them. Yep. And then you don't take anymore. You
Brad, is Brad gonna, are you gonna talk to me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was just here.
okay. I have to be almost.
Supper's not ready.
Yeah, they did something in the crock pot.
I have leftovers, because I actually cooked last night.
Early dinner. So.
Oh, and you're inviting me over, right? Had a dream last night that I had a cigarette, and I'm like.
Oh, really? I have that same dream all the time. And you know, in my dream, I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? You know, why am I smoking?
For me, it's like, it's been 9,000 years, what's going on with you?
I'm like, oh man, it was hard to quit the first time, it's gonna be hard the second time.
I know, well, it's, yeah, I know that if I were to do it, it would, it'd be terrible.
I mean, I don't want to say it, for me, I don't. I smoked a cigarette, I think that's right.
Yeah, I would too. I would too. This week, I have to finish bank, I have to do payroll, I have to do the minutes, I have to put them together and get ready for training
We got.
first, yeah.
Are we doing? What are we gonna do that? It's our session.
That's that. That's the one that usually department heads to get to go to.
Well, dog's gonna pass.
For Friday. I think that's Friday. And then my teacher.
Wait, at least I think we'll see him. We'll get two. Two. There's a third house out there, the third house. Yeah. However, if they ever wanted to be. Which is fine, because honestly, when I read meters on the contract, I shot reading, you have to count. Get the ones on each side, while I go up out there, and get that line set correctly.
Do you have to put a water?
Maybe that'd be right. But anyway, I don't think you caught that last, or the second one, the last.
No, there's one.
Is there?
Yeah, there's one right there.
Really?
Yeah, you can answer it. You can answer that.
What? So. Food trucks passed,
Yes.
solicitor peddler failed,
Okay.
tree trimmers passed, and contractors passed.
Yeah.
See, contractor was the one I didn't think.
Hmm? I mad at everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think, was I? I'm not in on Andy's.
No,
Who is it?
me.
No, no, there's three of them.
It's you and me
Yeah.
and him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. just gonna put state execution.
6 months. I'll admit, out of all of them, I'm more impressed with the sister that presented. I mean, and I give her credit for, she's there keeping them going. But like Becky said, that's a lot. I mean, are we recording?
Your microphone's on.
Mhm. But that's a lot. I mean, so.
Did you have Moderna when you shot?
Yep.
COVID?
Mhm.
Back, third round's here.
Is it?
I got mine today.
Cool. You know, Jordan, last week, we were on the way to school and Jordan said, I'm excited to get the booster or to get vaccinated. We weren't even talking about it. He brought it up. Mhm.
My son is,
I think it's a great deal.
We're,
I went to Takes RX and got mine today.
last week, AJ and I discussed sending them up to Sacred Heart. Lena went and did a shadow day there. It's a Catholic school in Fall City. She went and did a shadow day, and one of her comments to Andy and Angie was, not once during the whole day did the teacher have to tell any students to be quiet.
Okay.
Because from what I hear, I mean, it's out of control almost. I mean, kids talking and talking and talking, and the teachers are having to give so much time to that it's kind of holding everybody back.
well, I know for a fact that at least there is some math that, I mean, math has been a problem for the classes here.
Yeah.
I don't think it's recording on. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
No, I don't know. And I just, because I really don't know.
He did better on the last test.
Yeah, Sacred Heart's good stuff. I mean, I've had cousins that go up there. It is, it's good school. Small class sizes, you're gonna get, and it's just a good education.
More structured, discipline. And the thing is, Jordan's social. But that's part of it, is look, But I think they're getting away with it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the case in kindergarten, first, second. But I don't know, we've talked about it.
There's been a lot of kids getting in trouble this year. Some of them surprised me, honestly. Kids getting suspended that I think, I don't know if it's just lack of, if it's a new environment that they're in middle school. I really don't know.
I've heard that, I mean, it's just kind of out of control. Kids talking. It's like, what about the old days? In school suspension?
Exactly. Well, I got jokes on middle school this year, which is,
Yeah.
kind of been unheard of.
I mean, that was,
But,
that raised my.
we've had an influx of at-risk foster placements up here.
Yeah.
That tends to, and that's always gonna happen. Because we've got a brand new KBC outlet and we've got a nice, pretty new DCF building.
What I understand, some of those, not necessarily foster, but parents will get called and say, hey, your kid, it's not going on. It's acting up. But nothing gets done. I mean, it's just kind of Jordan's doing this new staying after school. It's not like idiots. My worry is that it's like, it's just babysitting till 5. Is it going to be school focused or is it going to be disruptive? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Nothing wrong. I think I'm glad we have the services that we have. And they are doing some good.
Oh, yeah.
I can't shed anything negative on that. But there has been an influx of work.
Yeah, I think so. Well, we're thinking about it.
I learned that. It's 7:11, so we're late. I'll say 7:10 anyway. Yeah, it helps.
On the phone, it's 7:10.
It is 7:10. I will make a motion. It's at 7:10, the city commission. I really should have brought my glasses. Called back into open meeting. The commission took no binding action during executive session.
Your second,
I'll second it.
motion been made and second, come back in. Any other comments? No comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No action taken. Next thing is, John.
I just have two quick things this evening.
Quit.
We would ask permission to close the lobby of the police department on November 4th and 5th. That we've kind of got that lined out with Matt out of the Fisher Center. He's going to come in and take out that front wall and rebuild that front wall. But he thinks he can have it sealed back up in 4 days. So if we do the November 4th and 5th, he's going to want to work over the weekend, and we're super grateful for that. So with your permission, I would ask that we are allowed to do that.
Sounds
Is
good
that
to me.
Thursday and Friday then, John?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the 4th and 5th of November.
Well, I guess you have to work outside like the government office up there. You just go outside and.
There you go.
with a car.
We'll set up a lemonade stand.
That sounds good as long as you're walking. So,
There you go.
Now, what about VIN inspections on those 2 days?
Barb's gonna talk to Brown County and see if they can cover those 2 days for us.
That'd be great.
And then I'm gonna put a sign on the front door with a number they can call, and but we're still gonna answer our phone.
Okay, right.
And we'll just
yeah,
get them around back if they need in.
Okay.
So
You publicize that somehow for the public?
we'll put it on our Facebook page
Yeah,
and
yeah.
hopefully down here, the city's Facebook page as well.
cool.
Oh, interviews for the part-time position. We're gonna hold those on November 3rd down here.
You got some good candidates.
We hope so.
I had a good one. She won $39 an hour.
Yes, sir, that's right. Well, and she got it too.
And she got it,
Yes, sir.
but she didn't get here, so.
Yeah. And that's all I have this evening. And I would, like I say, I would just look for, I think we probably need a motion and an approval to close our lobby. Because that's out of the norm of what we do. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to close the front lobby, or have the front lobby closed at the police department on the dates of the 4th and 5th of November for construction work.
Just a second.
Second.
Pushman made second. Any other comments? No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried. Dave's not here. Gene's not here. Tish, you here?
I have nothing tonight, nothing else.
You got anything?
No.
Oh, okay. Andy's not here. Mike,
I do. Just want to let you know, I haven't heard anything from KDHE regarding the proposed change to the language of the consent agreement. Not a bad thing. They didn't say no right away, so just I'm waiting on that. Just a reminder, as mentioned during the last meeting, the ARPA work session has been rescheduled for next Monday night, following the regular meeting. I received a request from the county. I was approached by County Commissioner Limpool regarding the replacement of the computer system for the county fuel station. The computer system, the current one, which we utilize by agreement, needs to be replaced because it's failing. Commissioner Limpool said the expected replacement cost is approximately 10,000 and asked if the city would be willing to contribute towards said cost. He said they're not looking for half, only an amount we feel comfortable with. As an example, just to, I picked an amount and kind of figure where the amounts would come from or how we pay for that. But if the city contributed 2,000 towards it, I'd propose, and this was going off kind of fuel budget and usage, 600 from the police, 450 from the water department, 400 from streets, 300 parks, and 250 from sewer. If it's something the commission's willing to consider, I think we should also look at the current agreement, that it should be amended to include a longer term. Right now, it was originally a 1-year term that automatically renews. But I think, if the city's going to put forth some additional capital towards this, then it'd be worth amending that term. I don't know if it's 3 years, 5 years, or what. There would still be termination clause if we violated the agreement, or if they violated the agreement and we want it out, but it just kind of guarantee a little bit for the investment.
What if we decided to get out of the county and we went ahead and got credit cards from one of our local vendors here in town, and we don't pay taxes anyway, so if we had to just run credit cards through and let these guys fuel up 24/7 most of these places, because all you need is a credit card.
I think, do we still have our account with Cinex? Used to be BP, it's Cinex now.
So
we still have an
We
account.
have BP cards.
Hmm?
We have BP cards.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I guess the advantage of not spending any money at all and just transferring back to BP or whoever, I guess. We had them before, I guess. So, I mean, just give everybody in their departments a credit card so they can fuel up there, and actually it would actually increase the volume of a local retailer, because county don't pay no taxes anyways. We don't either, but at least it'll give them some volume so they could maybe get another half cent off for volume. And so, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to talk with some of the other departments. John, convenience wise, is there a benefit of one over the other?
Not really. My only fear is reliability. We have had pretty good reliability at the county. And I know that in the past, we had some, just a few issues. But as again, like everybody sees, BP's completely remodeled.
Right.
It's been sold. I also know that there are Casey's stores all over the country.
Right.
So at this point, I whatever the will of the commission is, I honestly, I don't think we have any concerns either way. Just convenience.
We could look into Casey's account. I mean, see what that entails or what benefits there are.
Well, the first thing you give in, you're gonna give them, and then you give them an increase there, and then the next thing, you're gonna want dispatch service back and forth, and so. I guess I'm just looking at, I mean, as far as convenience side, as far as I'm concerned, you give somebody a credit card, and just like the girls down there at City Hall and the police department, they can have one card and they can shuffle it back and forth.
I know typically the way we do it is there's just a card in each vehicle.
That's how.
That's how.
Yeah. So I mean, it's, I don't know if there's an advantage. I mean, when you, these Ketros and stuff, I dealt with them for years, you know, and I was in the co-op system and so, I mean, they're not as good as you think they are, so. And,
Is the cost of fuel with the county any cheaper than going to a pump, or
I'd
they
have
buy
to
in
look.
bulk and have a bulk tank, or is that how it works?
there's no advantage. I mean, they pay no cost, we pay no cost.
I know that the cost of fuel, they gotta buy the fuel from somebody, so.
I'd have to look and see what they're charging us per gallon.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I
information-
think it deserves to be looked at.
That's
'Cause, I mean,
information we
we
can
had
have.
BP up there for a long time and then all of a sudden we changed over the county, but I mean, it's no, if there's no advantage for us to do it, then there's no use us putting up any money. Because
Yeah.
they maintain their own funds. And so I think it deserves a look.
We can look at it over the next week.
Yeah.
And bring some information back.
Yeah.
What we're
I
paying.
think we did. I think we do. If there's, I know they're not giving us no bargains, I'll tell you that. So, so, I mean, it's, I think we need to look at it and, I mean, and mostly, I don't think there's, if there's no advantage, there's no use putting up no money, so.
I'll get some more information on that.
Good.
Last thing I have, I didn't get it in my report, but kind of an update on the McClendon signs. Really hadn't been any movement yet, or we've heard of as far as funds being raised or commitments. As I understand, the signs are about $1,100. They're $1,100. There'd be about, there two of them. One of them at GN Bank, the north facing sign is in good shape. It's not faded out, but it's the one out west of town, and then the south facing sign at GM Bank. Bank has also requested if the signs were to be replaced, if we'd consider moving them down to the RV park or somewhere else, but that'd be a good location. I think they like the idea of the signs. But I think they were more worded. They turned out being more than was presented to them in the beginning, as far as size and working around them and all that. So,
Well, I think you told me today that, I think it's an advantage for the city. I mean, we've got the money in miscellaneous funds to go ahead and put the signs in. And I don't know if this thing's gonna go anywhere with, I mean, I called her the other day and she had zero income coming in and,
Well, wasn't she waiting on, didn't we have to get some place to put the money or something like that?
I don't think it'll ever
Yeah.
happen.
Has that been taken care of?
no,
Oh,
Well, she gets, he said, I need to get hold of her. She just gives me what she wants and what she just do a GoFundMe on Facebook and donate it and be done with it.
Yeah.
Way quicker. I don't know if do you have an email for her?
I don't.
I just talked to her, so I mean,
Okay.
I
That'd be
think,
easier to-
I think the best thing to do, I mean, we've got the money in miscellaneous account. And actually, we paid for the signs to start with originally.
we paid, I thought,
No, I got all the minutes on my desk downstairs when I read them.
well, I'll believe you. I just didn't know that.
Okay. We paid two payments, $1,368. And that come in the city and I think waiting around forever for somebody to come up with a program, I think the best interest of the city and we paid for it to start with anyway. So I think, and we got it in miscellaneous account. Actually, I went through the police department today with John and I thought maybe we had some forfeitures and stuff like that, and drug busts and stuff like that. He says he broke, so I've heard them stories before, so. So anyway, I just, our employee is the one that originally put them in. They put the signs on, the wrapping, and so from $1,800 to $1,040 or $1,100, and they do the work, and I think it'd be just as reasonable to get it done, and then we don't have to hear nothing about it. So, I mean, we've got the funds laying there and miscellaneous, so I'd say I'd be interested in just getting it done. So actually, I'd even make a motion, we do.
So who's gonna do all the work to order the signs and all that?
I've got everything on my desk, and Mike's got it too. Actually, I've been negotiating with them for over 2 months.
We've got the original design, and contact and all that. It'd just be a matter of calling them. They still have it on file.
I say just get it done, and then we're done with that program, and I'll just make a motion and to put up $1,100.
Oh, it's 22, isn't it? It's 1,100 per sign.
No,
Oh,
I
1,100
think it's
total?
11 for the 2 signs.
2 signs.
I misunderstood.
Yeah, the other one's perfect. 2 signs, and that way we'll get it off the agenda, and we don't have to fool with it anymore. So,
I'll second that. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
okay. We got a motion and a second.
2 seconds.
Pick one.
Okay. Any other comments? No other comment? We'll vote.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried. Anything else, Mike?
That's all I have tonight.
Well, I've got enough for tonight, so I'm gonna pass it on to Becky.
Okay, I am not going to pass it on. I want to first say kudos to Stacy Jasper, and I don't know if you guys saw any of the videos or anything of the little monster mash maze or whatever for the little kids. Super cute, lots of inflatables, so she'll be able to do it again. The kids loved it. I think the second day she said she had balloons blown up so the kids could kick those around, and really neat thing for our little people. And then I think Tuesday and Thursday is when they're having the supposedly really scary haunted house in the Fisher Center. She was telling me about it, said huge props go to Chris Diller, who has been stringing up tarps, so you have to walk through. And I'm going to go during the daytime to see it, but because I have no desire. That's Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it's just kind of neat that Stacy's helping the whole side of the Halloween town, that she's keeping it going. And even though, so Brad, you're my only audience, but I want to point out Camden Bachman, Felix McCartney, David Keogh, Aiden Geisendorf, Jordan Hodge, Camden Thonen, and Kaser Knudsen. Those 7 boys won league cross country last week, and they placed second on Saturday to qualify for state. Haven't taken a full boys team to state since 2017. Cross country, and I'm not doing this because obviously I have a little bit of connection, but I want them to get their props because these are not the boys that you expect to, they aren't big and flashy, and they just really ran well, and I'm beyond proud of them. So those 7 boys are going to Wamego on Saturday for the state meet. Only 12 teams make it. We're one of them out of 64 teams, and we're one that gets to go. So, want to give them props because
You running with them or what?
Absolutely.
Jason.
That's what it's like
As
to be
much as I
running.
can. In my head, I run a lot more with them, but
Hell, I'm gonna let Brad do my running, so.
anyway, I'm proud of those kids. So,
You have anything else, Becky?
nope, that'd be it.
Dave?
The tree board planted 6 new trees out at the lake last week, and replaced 2 trees on the walking trail that didn't make it. And I want to thank Nick and his guys for drilling the holes for us. That made the tree planting go much, much faster. That's all I have.
I thank everybody for all the work you've done on the tree deal, so. Thank
And
Dave
we'll
for
be watering them for the next year, so
using city water.
lake water. As long as the hose spigots are on out there.
I'm just joking. Brian?
I just have a quick one. On 9th in Miami, there's still water coming up from underneath the concrete, like a natural spring maybe, or something.
Actually, I was hoping to have KRW, they were supposed to be here today to go check that out for us to listen at least. They said that they needed to postpone that till tomorrow. So hopefully by the next meeting, I'll have some better answers for you on that.
Yeah, I forgot. Brian called me on that and I slipped up, so. All right, anything else, Brian?
Yep, that's it.
Evans?
I would also have to say not only a great season for the cross-country team, the boys that are going to state this year, but also to the volleyball girls who won league this year haven't won league since 1997. And tremendous year. They stayed ranked throughout the year. And those girls had a great season this year. So it's too bad that they did lose at sub-state, but what a great season they had. So kudos to both the cross-country team and the girls volleyball team this year. That's all I've got.
Sounds good. Evans, you're still running then. So you're running very fast when you get on that volleyball deal.
Football keeps me down.
Okay, sounds good. I guess I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Your second.
I'll second it.
Motion been second and third, so we're done. So
All in
roll.
favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
All right. Thanks for everybody coming out.